So John, for people who might not know you yet, how did you get started in real estate and how did you know that this was the career for you?
Well, first of all, I think you should know that you are actually interviewing Bean today.
That's right.
And I am just here to be emotional support human.
Could you maybe not make out with his face?
Oh,
I don't
doesn't
know.
like that answer.
I don't know, Mom.
So how did we get involved with real estate? So it happened about 10 years ago. I was offered a position to be a showing assistant. I was working in sports at the time and I wasn't making very much money, and I was trying to impress my now wife by making more money, and there was a vision that was kind of put out there of like, hey, come work with me, we're gonna do all of this stuff together. And I was like, well, if I make like half as much as I'm doing that, I'll make more than what I'm making now, so like, let's try it.
Yeah.
And ended up being just like a really good fit. So it was just kind of like a leap of faith at a time where the stuff that I was doing didn't feel as fulfilling. And it was kind of like, I didn't know if I was going to take the leap. It kind of felt kind of crazy. But when I asked the people around me, like my family and my wife and everybody else, well, she was my girlfriend at that point, they're like, you should absolutely do that. You should give it a shot. And I was like, okay, cool, let's do it.
I love
that. So I just jump in.
So why real estate? What motivates you to get up and do what you do every day? And before you answer that, like obviously all of us get up to do what we do every day to make a living, make money, and obviously live our lives. But what specifically about the business motivates you to do that grind every day?
You learn a lot about what you like to do by failing at other things. So I had a job when I got out of college. I did a few different things. I did like door-to-door credit card processing sales. That was a scam, and did it for a little bit. I know it was that bad.
We didn't like that.
And then from there, we did you're going to get picked up on the microphone too. And then from there, I actually got into consulting. And so I did HR consulting. And that was all like reading and writing and like synthesizing data points and stuff like that. And it was just something that I was never like that good of a student in school. And so the idea of like reading and writing, that wasn't like the things that I liked to do. And I did it long enough, but eventually like I was just bad at it because I didn't have a passion for it. And so when I started doing real estate and I had the opportunity to work closely with people, and really the thing that excites me most about being in real estate is the problem solving aspect of it. Like every day I get to solve some type of problem, whether it's like something wrong in my business or my systems, or you know, how we're going to make sure that we fix something in a listing that got broke, or whatever the fire drill is going to be that day. That's where I thrive. And I always have to be careful because the thriving is actually what takes me away from like the day-to-day of what I need to do. But like, I like the excitement. I like the stuff that like when it's going a little screwy, it's like, I got it. I can do that. That's cool. That's fun. Let's do it.
I love that. So the reason I asked that question is a few years ago as a company, we did this assessment. It was called something like core strengths assessment. And it was an assessment that each of us, you know, even Latney and Matt, owners of the company, they took it as well. And it was an assessment to figure out, you know, again, what drives you to do what you do every day. And everyone either had one of three results or a combination of them. And one of the results is you do it because of the people. You like making people feel good. Another one was problem solving, and that was Matt's. Matt's was very much like problem solving. I was people. Like I do this because of the effect that my job and my role has on people and making them happy. And then the other one was production and results. Like you love seeing results, and that was Latney's. So I was very interested to
like
hear what yours would be.
The whole mixture all together. You got like the Power Rangers right there.
Well, exactly. And so some people in our company were a solid combination of the three, and then people like myself, I was like mostly one. So it was like Leah's really driven by the people aspect of things, whereas Matt was like fully process, like fully driven by the process and the problem solving. But I love your answer because I feel like most people would assume a real estate agent's answer would be, I do this because of the people, and might not think there's a lot of problem solving.
But I can go work at Starbucks and talk with a lot of people too.
Oh yeah,
right?
that's not to say that that's not driving you, but for you to say like that's the number one thing is like I love solving problems for people. And
I used to say the people. I know it's true, like I really like the people, but when I looked deeper, I was like, there's a lot of things I could do with great people.
Yeah.
What is it about the actual role? And
Exactly.
that's where it comes out. And so eventually I found myself that was like my day to day, and I was good at that. And so when you contrast a lifestyle where you're good at something and you feel in control and you have like this extra energy versus another job where you feel like you're inadequate and you're just kind of skating by, like it's a different mindset and a lifestyle. So like I know what it's like to not be in something that you're not good at, and now that I'm in something, it's like, cool, I'm good at it, let's go do this.
Yeah, exactly. You're in your niche. Are you comfortable now? I think she's very comfortable. Okay, so you work with so many first-time home buyers through your content. What's the number one thing people always get confused about in your experience?
So I don't know if it's confusion as much as it is a little bit of, it's not laziness either. I'm not calling you lazy. You're not lazy. You're good. You're awesome. You don't know what you don't know yet. And so there's a lot of people that when they step in the arena of like, I want to go buy a place, they're like, okay, I need an agent and I need to get mortgage stuff and I need to get things moving. People don't take enough time trying to understand the team they need to surround themselves with by talking to numerous people and understanding who might be the best fit for them and why. Like there's a lot that you can take away from having a conversation with me and other agents. And there's different things you can take away from talking with one lender versus a bunch of other lenders. And their pros and cons might be different pros and cons for everybody.
Yep.
And not knowing how to approach those conversations in a way is detrimental, because most people assume if I get a mortgage, I'm getting a mortgage. Like I just need a mortgage person. And if I'm having an agent, I just need to get an agent and then kind of go from there. And they just kind of take it at face value of like, okay, my friend used this person and they got a house, so I'm just going to use that person too. And that's a good way to suss it out. But why aren't you taking time to compare more things on the biggest purchase you're going to do?
Yeah.
And
This
so
is
I
the
always
time to
invite
be
people to
picky.
talk to as many people as they want to feel good. And I've not gotten clients because of that before, because they ended up picking someone that they felt was a better fit.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just thankful for the opportunity to interview and educate them to be their advocate. And if it does feel like the vibe at that point, then we're going to vibe.
Yeah.
And if for some reason they feel like someone else is going to be a better fit, I'm thankful that I was allowed to be as part of it to help them get that clarity.
Having good rapport with your realtor is everything. What you just said about if we vibe, then great. Like you have to vibe with your realtor, and it's like you said too. Even if you just have a hand in helping them get there by educating them on what to look out for to create your power team. I meet a lot of agents, talk to real estate agents every single day, and each and every one is completely unique in how they work with their clients.
And here's the truth. It's not hard to become a real estate agent.
Yeah.
You too, with a 60-hour course online, can become a real estate agent. That doesn't mean that you're actually going to be good at it, because most of the stuff that you learn is not actually going to be applicable to how you actually function out in the world doing real estate stuff, right, Bean?
The stuff you learn to get licensed is not the bread and butter of
Never
what's gonna
use
make
the
you
meets
a
and bounds
good-
things. That's something that you have to do in real estate.
Great
But, like,
example.
how do you actually negotiate on someone's behalf? That's not covered in real estate school.
wild to
Like
me.
they don't really go over that. Or how do you actually get clients? How do you interact with other agents to make sure things are good? How do you
These
open a
are all
lockbox?
massive
These are not
aspects
things that
of
they
your
go
job.
over.
Yeah.
And they cover very important things. So they're covering fair housing legislation and some of the basic rules and regulations around what you need to know.
Yeah.
And it's important, but it is not all encompassing. And so the real way that you learn in this business is by being in the business.
Yeah.
And so that's why people have to be extra careful, because that means if you are one of like someone's first transactions, you're a guinea pig.
Yeah.
Because they're learning. And like they're doing it with a good heart and intention, but like you're a guinea pig.
Yeah.
And you know, I loved my guinea pigs when I got started. I was super thankful for the people that trusted me that I was going to work with them. But like the truth is like I didn't know as much as I thought I needed to know, and you know, a decade later, I'm like, wow, I've learned a lot.
The Compass Zillow lawsuit. So as a realtor with Real, you know, not the same brokerage as Compass, totally different. How in your opinion, how does the lawsuit impact agents who are not with Compass?
Yep. Let me ask you, what is your interpretation right now of, we don't even need to say the lawsuit, like the dispute.
Of just like what's going on.
What are the basic sides of it?
My understanding is right now, when a property is listed for sale, people can go onto Zillow and they'll see that property for sale. If a seller or homeowner wants to list their property exclusively through Compass, through the Compass network, before it's ever actually like on the public market where people could find it on Zillow, my understanding is that Zillow will make it so that their home will not show up on Zillow if it was ever listed privately through Compass.
Yeah, A+ student. A point of clarification is it's technically not just Zillow. Like it could be any brokerage, anybody that wants to put it out. It's Compass has taken the hardest stance of it. And part of that is they've been so instrumental, a lot of their markets, of creating these off-market lists of properties of like stuff that's coming up.
Yeah.
And they've also known that whoever has a list like that, whoever has the knowledge of what's coming up, owns a little bit more of the market space. And that helps them, one, have a pitch for their agents to consumers to work with them. And two, that gives them extra juice to recruit agents into their brokerage. And that's all okay. Like, they are a for-profit company. They should be giving themselves every advantage that they could be.
Totally.
Zillow doesn't like this, because what does Zillow do? Zillow lists properties and they make money because, well, now they're a brokerage, but they also sell leads off of their website. And so Zillow doesn't necessarily like the idea that not all the properties are on the market, because it devalues their platform. Because somebody could say that, like, I'm looking at, like, I'm going to go to the Compass website because that has more properties than your website. And so they both have really good points. And at the end of the day, I think people should be able to advertise their properties however they want. So in some regard, I believe that Compass should be able to do what they want to do. They're a for-profit company, along with a lot of other brokerages that are doing off-market lists. And the other side of it, Zillow controls what they put on their website, and they should be allowed to do it. That's fine. And at the end of the day, they're both trying to make sure that they're watching out for their investors and their profits, and they are both doing that well. Now, as agents, we do have to go beyond the MLS. And so the reality is if you're not functioning your business differently now than you were 5-6 years ago, then you are doing a disservice to your client, because you know that there's off-market lists. There's off-market lists for Compass and TTR and Redfin and other brokerages I've never even heard of before. Your ability to reach out to as many people to look for things that are off-market is where you're going to kind of separate yourself. And about 20% of the stuff that my team sells isn't on the market.
What I'm hearing you say is, like, you know, you have to be coming up with different solutions and different ways to find homes for your buyers.
Yeah.
And it's not just the connections or the resources you have with your brokerage, but you know, networking with other agents from other brokerages.
Yeah.
So I love that.
If you were
Finding
in a brokerage
solutions.
and you were only looking at that brokerage, even if you had the largest list possible, you're still not doing everything you could to make things happen.
Such a good point. That's such a good point. I love it. So the word contingency, I think, can sometimes make buyers panic. I usually compare it to a safety net. How do you explain it in your own words?
It's funny you say safety net, because I do first-time home buyer presentations where like we go out and we rent out like a part of a restaurant, and our graphic on this is actually like people skydiving in their safety nets.
Oh my God, I love it.
And so the funny thing is the word contingency shouldn't be scary. It actually is your friend. And so it's all about understanding why it's your friend. And it's because it offers those safety nets, those protections to help you from something going very bad.
Now, Ella has some questions for you. So sometimes buyers assume they need to pay a realtor up front just to get started. Do you run into that misconception, and how do you usually handle that?
What do you mean misconception? When people meet me, they show up with a briefcase of non-sequential bills.
They're just ready to go.
They're ready to
throwing money at you.
I make sure that the first time I'm chatting with someone, they know that to come and learn and talk with me is a non-committal, doesn't cost money, just costs a little bit of time to remove that barrier. Everybody operates a little bit differently, but nobody we work with pays any sort of retainer. Nobody we work with pays any sort of fee for just getting started. The reality is if we elect to work together, then we would get paid at the end of the transaction. And if you never close on a place, you never owe money. So that's, sometimes it's funny because you look at a real estate agent that closes on a place and it went super easy and quick, and you're like, man, they made all that money and it went really fast. And there's a bunch of ones in the background of like, I showed these people 30 homes over the course of 3 months, and then they never bought anything. And so like, it kind of ebbs and flows with depending how it is. So we love the easy ones, but we also understand that our time isn't always valued directly versus each client that we work with.
That makes total sense. Yeah, I was just thinking through that the other day, and I was saying to myself, I've been doing this for so long, I don't even remember what I assumed as someone who didn't know about real estate once upon a time. Like, as the buyer, would I have assumed, like, if I'm working with an agent, I have to pay an agent. How does that work? So yeah, I wanted to know if you're often coming across, like, especially first-time home buyers who are worried about the cost of you for your services, or if that's not so much a misconception or a worry that people have.
Yeah.
So with the DC condo market not being as hot as it used to be, have you found yourself taking a different approach to DC listings?
Like when I'm listing or when I'm helping someone buy?
Both.
Okay. So when we're helping someone buy right now, and it could be condos, it could be houses, the realistic thing is we understand where the market is right now, and it's important to know the submarkets too, because if you're talking about Georgetown, it's different than Michigan Park or something like that. Like, they're just tangentially different about how they function. And so knowing how those markets are moving, knowing what the absorption rate is about how long stuff's lasting, and the percentages of like above and below that they're going off the market is going to help dictate what your strategy should be. And this is a market, and it's flipped on its head from what we were doing in 2020 and 2021 of like gearing up for battle. How do we win this? The mentality right now has to shift a touch. The mentality shifts to, what are we going to do in a market where it doesn't feel like things are moving as quickly to excite ourselves about putting an offer on place? And so the number of places that we've actually put in offers that are lower than likely what the person was hoping for has gone up substantially. Because in a market where things aren't moving, we see the comps that have sold, but your property's on the market. Your property hasn't sold in 2 months. So obviously the market is dictated in a way that you're not what people are looking for in this market at this price point.
Yeah.
And if we're going to purchase it, we've got to assume that means that the market is lower than that. So we have to go for that property at a lower number, even if all the data says you could pay higher. So it's really being sensitive to the numbers, and it's being sensitive to what else is selling and not selling around there. And if you like negotiating, this is kind of the market to be in. And you have to be ready to walk away if you're not going to get something for the number that you want it to be.
Yeah. What about when you're helping someone list?
So the big difference between now versus other times is typically the way that we look at properties and list them in a market that's moving a little bit quicker is we're looking at the data around us that has sold. And that's still helpful, right? Like I still want to see the last 6 months of data.
Yeah.
Right now, you are competing with what's on the market. So you can't just be looking at what's happening from a standpoint of like, well, my neighbor 6 months ago sold for 500. I'm going to come back and say, but there's 2 other units in your building listed for 475 and they haven't moved in 45 days. You're not getting that number. And in fact, if you want to move quick, you got to position yourself better than what else is on the market. So it's really about being strategic around moving along. And I've made some mistakes to start the year. Like when the market started to feel like it wasn't moving quite as quick, I didn't adjust my strategy right away. And I let some people list at numbers that I didn't believe in. And then they didn't sell. And that stunk. That stunk for them, that stunk for me. And so I realized at some point through conversation, I love having conversations with people that maybe didn't get to sell and understanding what could have gone differently. And one of the things I really took away from one of the conversations was the issue wasn't anything except me being really ready to be holding my ground about what I really felt and not letting it bend too much, because I'm the professional and I'm the expert, and we were used to a market where like, you could probably get a little bit lucky, but the margin for error right now is just so much smaller.
Yeah, it's different. So you're with Real Brokerage, which is one of the fastest growing brokerages out there. What drew you to Real, and how does it feel different compared to traditional brokerages?
Sure. So switched to Real, I think it was like 2.5 years ago now. And
From Arla?
Yep.
Is it Arla?
Yep. So I've been at a few different places along the way and I think every place has their pros and cons. I think highly of a lot of different brokerages around the city, and I think when agents are going out and trying to find what's the right fit for them, they need to have what's important for them. And one of the things that I looked at was, one, I wanted people that were really into social media that were in my close network. And a lot of the people that I was watching on a national scale had gravitated towards Real. And so that's where I wanted to go. I went to a couple of conferences that were dedicated strictly to social media in real estate. And I was like a pig in slop, like just ready to go. And then also from a financial standpoint, this means more to agents than it does to consumers, but we owe our brokerage money called splits as we go through it, and the financial incentive of Real was much more in line with kind of what I was expecting, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that I have produced over the years had come from my own efforts and not necessarily from a relationship with a brokerage. So it's holding every dollar accountable. And by having a less big split at a larger brokerage, I was able to allocate those dollars to other things that I was able to do that I could really hold accountable to those dollars and cents. So there are pros and cons to being everywhere, and this fit felt perfect for me in that moment, and still does to this day. Like I still really like it.
As you talk through that, it sounds perfect for someone like you and where you're at in your real estate journey. Now we're gonna shift into social presence. So
just one content creator to another.
I know. Well, we all love these videos of yours. Your Let's Check It Out videos.
Let's check it out.
They have such a simple hook, but they make real estate feel so approachable. Do buyers ever say, I reached out because I felt like I already knew you?
Yes. And then I get you really are like you seem on the videos. Like whatever I give out there seems to translate there pretty directly, which has been pretty cool. So the answer is 100%. There have been people that have reached out and continue to reach out about either looking to buy a place or like the marketing we can do and the eyeballs and attention we can get on properties.
Yeah. Well, and as you know, social media isn't just views, it's also business. So when did you realize your videos weren't just getting likes, but actually bringing in clients?
It took a little while. I got followers to start with, and that was fun. I liked getting followers. But for the first 18 months of doing it, people would always ask, like, are you getting a ton of business from this? And at that point, the answer was not as much as you think.
Yeah.
It was a lot more of like, my current clients think I'm cooler than I am because like I have videos with a ton of views. But over time, and the longer people have been on in the following network, people have started to feel a little bit more of like, they know my story, what I'm looking for, what I'm doing. And sometimes I'm in a season for people. Like I'm sure there's people that follow me because they're into house hunting and they want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And then they end up finding a place one day and then they're like, I don't need to see all these places, we're fine. And then I'll be there when they want to come back some other day, if they want to unfollow from there. So definitely there are people around there that have reached out from that.
That's so cool. These days, buyers and sellers aren't just asking friends for referrals. They're scrolling Instagram, they're scrolling TikTok, even YouTube to find a realtor. How do you think people should be using social media to find the right fit in an agent?
So social media is a really cool tool to start exploring. There's some knowledge to take up there, and certainly you can find all the house porn you could ever find. If, like the videos I do, a lot of people do similar or their own version of them these days. So you can find a lot of different options out there. In terms of how to use it, if I'm looking for someone to help me sell my place, having a good online presence I think is very important. You know, when you go to like a Redfin site for a listing that just came up, after a week I think it'll say like it's got like 5,000 to 6,000 views on it, which is pretty good. That's a lot of views, and it's very specific views. I mean, some of my videos pop off to get 100,000 views. So like the number of views that you can get from somebody that knows how to engage and entice and bring in an audience, that's a super important, critical thing for someone looking to sell.
Yeah.
And for looking to buy, it goes back to you want someone that fits your vibe.
Yeah.
Like here I am, covered in a little bit of dog
And
hair,
little bean hair.
with a hat on and Nike tennis shoes. Like, I'm not going to be for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But there are some people that are like, that's my dude.
That's
That's my dude.
That's the guy I want to work with.
And the nice thing is, because of that, we're likely going to have an even better relationship once it gets going. So I think finding that vibe, and I think that that's why authenticity in the videos matters a whole lot too.
Absolutely. Yeah, you bring up such good points because these are also things that are important to us, like on the allied title side of things. You know, we're not for everybody. You know, certainly. You know, we're a bit more fun. You know, a little bit more casual. Certainly, you know, that's not how we take our approach to the quality of the services we provide. But you know,
some people like sitting in those things that haven't changed their furniture since out the 80s.
That's right.
And not have
some people would trust that more than
like
seeing a 360 machine next to their closing table. So I get it. We're not for everyone either, but I think when people stick to, whether you're a title company or a real estate agent, lender, whatever, I think the more authentic you are to yourself, like the more people are going to be drawn to you because of who you are, and they're going to be like-minded people to you. So I can't say it enough that I think the vibes are so important.
Do you guys have a framework to make sure that you stay on vibe?
Not so much a framework, but more so a culture, and really actively not just upholding that culture, but contributing to that culture.
Yeah.
And making sure that culture that people feel when they walk in to their settlement office is really the culture that's like originating from within, you know? So less of a framework, a big emphasis on who we hire, which we were talking about that a lot in the beginning.
Yep.
You know, we always say at Allied, like, you can teach anyone how to order a title search, right? But you can't teach people how to care. You can't teach people how to have that care in their voice if they just don't normally have it when someone calls with a million questions. You know, those things that, again, bring good service and empathy, you know?
Yep.
You can teach skills. You could teach someone how to do the title stuff, but the care you have behind that. So we really kind of focus more on like who we're bringing in, and then how we can all continue to contribute to that culture to keep us on top. And
Totally.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's good. I was
Thank you.
curious.
Thank you for asking that. A lot of agents struggle with showing up on camera or knowing what to post. What made you comfortable putting yourself out there? And has that changed the way that clients approach you?
I have a secret power, and it's the fact that I know I'm not the handsomest dude in the world. And because of that, I'm never worried about what I'm going to look like when I
So
come
you
up on
give
camera.
yourself the permission to not care as much.
Yeah. I just kind of show up and do things. And guess what? There's filters. I can make all of you look better. If I can make me look better, you got to put some filters on this, I hope. You just have to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And the truth is, a lot of people just want to do video because people tell them that they need to do video in order to generate business.
Yeah.
I think that that's sort of a lie right now. I think that people need to focus on what fills them up and what excites them. The reason video works for me is because I love it. Like, I sit there on my couch watching Monday Night Football, editing videos and playing around with it and messing it up and then fixing it and like playing around with it. And that shows up on what I'm doing, and I'm creative with how I want to do it. I change things here. And if you're not really that into it, you're not going to do it for a long time. And so at that point, it wasn't worth it. I think the authenticity of video and me really is finding what's authentic to you. So if you are super into, let's do something random. You're super into pickleball. You should use that to your full advantage. You should be using pickleball as a method to meet more people. I'm not saying that you're going to go out there and just like bastardize it, right? Like, you're not going to walk in and just like start pitching everybody in real estate. But this world that we create in real estate is around connections. So put yourself in a spot where you're going to be excited about what you're doing, because the connections will be much more natural.
I remember when I was first starting this channel up. At the time, I was visiting with a group of real estate agents, and the team lead was trying to get the agents to be more comfortable with the idea of getting on video and recording themselves, and he was using a little tough love. And he's like, you know what? If you don't like the way you look on camera, too bad, because this is what you look like in real life. This is how everyone else sees you.
It's inspiring.
So, to be honest, I even needed to hear that a little bit, because even I could get a little self-conscious. Well, like, my hair's not that great today, or this, that, the other. Like, that's how I'm showing up in the world today. This is what I look like, regardless of how I feel about the way it looks on camera. Like, this is still what you look like. This is how you show up, or on camera, or whatever. So it just kind of brings me back to the original question to you, and my response, and saying, like, you're giving yourself the permission kind of to care a little bit less. And as someone who cares way too much, I sort of needed that permission to care a little bit less, you know, because you look the way you look, so just film content regardless, you know?
Or change the way you look.
Yeah.
But that takes a lot longer.
That takes a lot longer.
So.
Exactly. This one is a faster solution, I think. A little rapid fire for you, John. Favorite DC neighborhood right now?
Capitol Hill.
Wow, that was fast.
Always. The thing I like about Capitol Hill is it's still historic. It doesn't feel as buttoned up as some of the other parts of the city. It's tied in pretty tightly to a lot of what makes DC special in terms of government officiating and stuff like that. So you're close to like the hill stuff.
Yeah.
But also like you're over by the water and you have like Kingman Park nearby. Like it has a little bit of everything, and I feel like the vibe is so much more chill in comparison to some other areas.
Yeah, great answer. Most underrated spot in DC to grab food after a showing?
So first of all, Jet's Pizza. If I'm in Alexandria, I go get Jet's Pizza. They've opened up a couple other locations now. But if I'm over there, because I don't live right there, I try to go get a couple slices of their Detroit style pizza because it takes me home. So I love that. Truthfully, I'm a bargain hunter. And so one of the things that I'll do a little bit too often because it's so accessible is McDonald's.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't know if you guys do you guys have the app for McDonald's? Claudia from my team put me onto this.
No.
If you have the app for McDonald's, they have something like if you get a large drink for $1, you get like free fries.
You can be getting rewards.
You not only get rewards, but it's cheap.
I knew
It's super
Chick-fil-A
cheap.
did that.
And like you put in a little app, and then you don't even have to like do anything when you're pulling around the drive-through. Like you just like tell them a little number, and they just like hand you your bag as you're going through. Like it's a miracle.
I
know that like we wanted like some super off the beaten path, but like I think that we need to all acknowledge that sometimes we're on the go, and while I don't need to be eating it very often, that is quite convenient.
It's very convenient, and I'm not going to hate on it either. I especially was a fan of the Happy Meals this summer because their toy was a collaboration of Hello Kitty and Ninja Turtles. So the toy was like a Ninja Turtle, but with like a Hello Kitty face. And I was like, these are adorable. I need all of them. So then I was on like
Plus their Diet Coke. Their Diet Coke is fantastic.
They have the best Diet Coke.
Like I don't know what they do. There's
A
some kind of crack in
McDonald's
that
fountain Coke. Like I don't know what they're putting in that, but I know. Like this compared to a fountain McDonald's Diet Coke is trash, comparatively speaking.
And then also bagels, etc. over in the DuPont area. You have to have cash, which is I never really have it. But if I'm going, that's usually like a before the showing. Yeah. Because like it's like quick and easy. But then if like some clients put me onto it because they kept bringing them to our morning showings on the weekend, and I was like, oh, these are good.
Yeah, so good. I know.
So gooey.
A new favorite over the years of mine. I don't know why the first one that came to my mind, if I was an agent, it was after showing, would be like Surfside.
Oh, I could see that.
I love Surfside. So good. So good.
See, but like after showings, I don't want to like try to go somewhere where I need to find parking.
I know.
Because I always have the car. So then it's like, what am I going to find between A and B? That's how like I'm always like an efficiency mindset.
Yeah.
And so like, okay, if I'm going to go this way and I'm going to cut through Brookland, what can I get? And then I'm like, well, I know the McDonald's is right there.
I know.
So it's like, it's always so easy.
I know. I'm with you. We're at McDonald's a lot, aren't we, Bean? Okay, I'm so interested what you're going to say. What's harder for you, writing an offer or making a reel?
Both are exciting things, right? So like there's enthusiasm going into it. So it reduces the friction of it being hard. The reel's going to take more time because it's going to have to go find a place, shoot it, do all that. By the time I'm writing an offer, it's ready to go. So I'd say editing a reel or like creating a reel is going to be harder because it's more time intensive. My offer writing game is pretty quick these days. Like I can pull that together pretty quickly. And sometimes I have my team members to help me out do that. And nobody else edits my videos, so.
Well, I feel like that's a really good answer for an experienced and a good real estate agent. And also, it speaks volumes to how difficult making content can be. I think a lot of people who aren't content creators have a misconception at times, like, how long does it actually take to edit something, though? Or how long does it actually take? It takes a long time.
It's kind of like how you're talking about like doing your hair and feeling good with it. Like you could keep going back and like editing and editing and editing, and then you find a button that does something new, and you're like, I want to try this.
I know.
And then you start a whole new video, and like it's all crazy.
Yeah, and it's time consuming. If you weren't in real estate, what would you be doing?
Creating content, travel vlogging.
Travel vlogging.
Travel
Okay,
vlogging.
well you're already doing a little bit of that with your
That's the goal.
travel real estate content, and I'm obsessed. So that's a great
Well on our way.
answer.
Well, you know, well on our way.
That side hustle might become the main gig.
One day.
One day. Okay, last one. What is the most surprising thing a client has ever asked you?
So there was one time when I was showing a property, and like something felt off about it because there was like a dog barking upstairs, and like there was like a TV left on and like stuff like that.
Creepy.
And the place was like pretty run down. It's like a place that people were probably going to like fix up for themselves. So we start on the main level, then we go down to the basement, and then there's like a dog down there that's like jumping up and down. I'm like, okay, I guess they really like dogs. And then we go upstairs, and I open the door to the bedroom. Like the whole time I'm like walking through like, hello, like is anybody here? And I opened the door to the bedroom, and there was another dog that was like jumping on like the bed. And I was like, oh, okay. And as the dog was jumping on the bed, the cover started coming down, and I could see a person start to appear. And they were like laying the opposite way on the bed, so their feet were their head should be, and their head was the opposite way. And so like I naturally scanned from like the headboard down, and then when I got to the bottom of it, I noticed that the hand was like hanging out over, and there was a chair right here, and then on the chair was a giant butcher knife. And at that moment, I decided to close the door and get out of there because I was afraid.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
That's intense.
You're out there. I hope you're doing okay.
Oh. Especially the dog in every room.
I did let the
thing.
agent know, so like it wasn't. Like,
Yeah. Oh my God, that's creepy.
So
That is
just had a
creepy.
long night.
And I'll be shutting the door. That is for
We're
the
gonna
listing
go now.
agent
We're not gonna see the other bedrooms today. We're gonna keep moving.
We're not going to see the other bedrooms today. Yeah, that was probably a good call.
Good one for Halloween, huh?
That is a good one for Halloween. This was perfect timing. You're the best. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for
with
having me.
Thank you so much.